Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly timeframes. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. One more thing, follow me on StockTwits, follow me on Twitter, go to my website, StockBookie.com, sign up for a free membership for more videos like this. We're going to try to do some more live sessions hopefully next week and keep this ball rolling here. So let's get right into the SPY daily chart. Again, volume light, not bad today. It was like 70 million at the close or 63 million, something like that. So overall, still light volume, still pushing up. We did talk about this bullish pattern. We have the upsloping and the upsloping trend line channels, and right now we're starting to break above it. So we talked about the 235 area. This is where it's pretty much holding on to. Let's see if we can continue higher. Then we got to go even numbers, 36, 37, 38, and then ultimately the 240 area. But we're going to follow this one on the weekly close. So the weekly close is what we're going to focus on here. We did close above this line here. I want to see next week this close above this line and 237, 238, or even 240. I want to see a nice push, and I want to see more volume here before this one continues up. We did come off of this bullish consolidation inside bar, so you just got to keep going with the flow. If you are long these markets, enjoy the ride and just keep moving up these stops here, because one day you're going to wake up and this thing will come down. But right now, as long as we have the 76 million, 66 million, 56 million on the SPY every day, it's probably not going anywhere. It's not going to sell off on light volume. If it does, then we'll probably get a flash crash, which I don't think we're going to see, but you can't rule it out, guys. So if you're long, you want to stay above this trend line and continue ripping. You want to start seeing more volume, more conviction. But I think at this point, a lot of people are in buying Dow 20,000. We're at 20,000, what, 600, I think, or something like that right now. I don't have it up right now, but yeah, you just have to respect the markets, guys. So again, we're ripping up on no volume. We're above this trend line. Next week, I want to see it close above this high, and then we could possibly continue higher. So we'll keep an eye on that. So if you're long, watch for that. If you're short, you want to come back, get below this trend line, and then go below the moving averages, fill the gap, and then 200 MA until we start reversing. Then we'll talk more about it. Again, we have this lower trend line here. That's going to be key too. As long as we stay above this trend line and above that top one there, this is for support. This is resistance. I can't see why not. We won't keep going up. So. One day at a time with these markets. I believe Monday we're off, so enjoy the 3-day weekend and stuff like that. Let's go to the IWM. IWM was 9 cents down on the day. We still can't get above that 140 area. That's the big area that we've been talking about with the upsloping trend line. The other day we made the all-time high, which is 139.84, and then it pulled back. And then today it kind of chopped around. It was a little bit weaker than the rest of the indexes. So you have to keep an eye on that just to say, hey, the IWM should be leading again. You always talked about it. Did make new all-time highs, but I want to see this thing leading the way, not kind of lagging. So for me, I keep an eye on that. Weekly close today, nothing wrong. We did get above the all-time high here. I mean, barely, but we did not close above this 140 area up here, or this upper trend line. So you gotta keep an eye on that, guys. If you're bullish, you need to get above it. And then I believe we could break out and start going higher. If it does not get above this trend line, then of course it will turn around, and then we'll see if it falls, and then we'll wait for pattern. But it needs to get underneath these trend lines here. This was the channel that it was in, and finally it broke out. But again, volume's okay. I want to see some green candles like this as it's moving up. This is some conviction right here, where it was just someone was in there, boom, push it up, and then as soon as they got it high enough, they just let it go, and then everyone else just buys. That's all these guys had to do. Just like you go back here on the Brexit, and then same thing. I mean, we didn't have it here. Someone was up here doing some damage control right here. So this one wasn't too bad with the Brexit, but they pushed it up anyways, came back in, and boom, right again. Here's a lower trend line too. That's going to be key when this market starts coming in. It will, guys. It's just taking its sweet time. It's hard to kill the bull, guys. So, all right, let's look at the Qs. We're back above that trend line. This is the weekly chart. So this one's nothing wrong other than lighter volume. I want to see a big green candle, couple of them pushing this thing up. I don't want to see it just slowly disappear, but these are the type of markets we've been in, guys, for a while. It gets up here, chops around, just shallow pullbacks, comes up, shallow, and now we're just kind of look at that. It's just like, woo, floating up, guys. Oh man, drives me nuts. But hey, got to take markets for what it is and just keep, just keep working it. If you're long the indexes and getting killed, just make sure you have the right size positions, and you can always add as if it goes higher. That's how I've been playing these markets, guys, just slow and steady. And if it's going up and I'm trying to short, then I guess I'll be married to these. But eventually on the short side, it's always a staircase up, and then boom, 6 days down, and you'll be down in 110 area, and everyone will be like, whoa, what just happened? So, for me, I can't buy at the highs, guys. I just can't chase this thing. I missed the rally, and that's it. I was waiting for a bigger pullback and then another buy, and it just never gave it to us. But we did have lower highs on the Qs. That's telling us it should start continuing up. We're above the moving averages. It's getting a little bit stretched now. Let's go to the weekly. Monthly we won't go to yet, but the weekly. Weekly, we did confirm above this trend line there, so you have to respect that. I think we still get to the 130 area, and then 132, 133, everything's overshooting. But at this point, I want to see more follow through. If we get a quick reversal and comes right back below the trend line here, then it might have a chance of coming back in. But at this point, oh man, it's going up. That's all I can say, guys. It's going up. DIA. Enjoy the ride, longs. DIA, weekly pattern, not bad, bullish. I would like to see a little more of a wedge, but you have to respect it. Once we got above this little tail, boom, we're off to the races. We talked about the 205. I wouldn't rule out 210 at this point. If it's light volume, just keeps grinding, I wouldn't rule out 210 easily. But remember, if you're long, just be aware, just be ready to roll, because if this thing clicks over and starts to rumble, you want to get the heck out. And then if you're bullish, buy back a little bit lower. Let it come in, then buy back and do it again. And just be careful, guys. We've been riding this thing up for almost 8 years now, 8-year bull run. We're a little bit long in the tooth, in my opinion. Everyone's getting a little euphoric and getting a little crazy. And just got to respect it at this point. This one here, the Dow, nice bullish pattern here. We stayed above the 20 and the 50 and the 200, popped up, came back today, pretty much almost got us back to this candle low, which tells me that's a little bit on the weak side. I mean, not that this thing's weak, but pulling back and then barely making it back to get to this candle. So just beware. Longs, tighten the stops. Just make sure you're on the charts or watching the markets. So you don't want to wake up and this thing just goes. At this point, it's got a believer of me that we're going to go higher. But as looking at a couple other indicators that I follow, it's telling me that we'll see. It's only a matter of time now. But it's just a matter of calling the top. And right now, this thing will keep going. We'll look at the 210 even number, the 207.50, the 208, 209, and stuff like that if it gets up there. So respect the markets right now. If you're long, just be ready to sell the positions. And if you're short, you want to basically reverse and come back in. Or if you're not short, and if you wanted to do so, don't buy the markets up here. It could go a little more. It could go 50% more. But for me, I'd rather see a pullback and then the next move up. So, maybe the 200 moving average down here if we really started to come in pretty good. But at this point, everything's good. We're good again. Economy's rolling. Nothing to worry about, guys. Nothing to worry about. Oh, what else here? Let's look at USO. USO, this one's just has a mind of its own lately too. Dollars up, this one goes up, dollars down, this one's up, dollars down, this one goes down. It's just kind of all over the place. But today they got it back above the 20 MA on the close. We're still below the 50 MA as well. This is a daily chart, still chopping around sideways. Other than a range right here, that's pretty much all I got. So a little bit more on the bearish side, though. As long as we stay above these moving averages, it should possibly move up. If it does get below the moving averages, and especially below the 200 and then this trend line down here, and then you have, double bottom, a couple other things. But you have good support around 11 bucks. So even if it goes down, you might bounce right back up to the high. So just beware. We do have short position in the USO, and we have a long position in the SCO, which is short oil, basically. So yeah, I hope it goes down a little bit more. We get out of them, and then we keep moving on and doing our thing. Weekly chart, same thing. It's above the MAs. Well, you know what? Let's look at it. Yeah, this one Yeah, still above the MA. Still slightly bearish though when it goes down sideways like this. But overall, it's a macro bear or bull, micro bear. Just keep an eye. If you can start getting below these MAs, I think we can easily go to 1050, and then then go from there. You got double bottom here. You got 921. I still believe it's going lower. That's my opinion. Dollar. What was a dollar? Dollar was up today, so oil should have came down. Oil was just a little bit weak on the day, but the dollar, it's still intact, still going, or trying at least. We had a nice pullback here, and that's pretty much what it's been doing. It kind of shoots up, pulls back, shoots up, pulls back, shoots up, pulls back, shoots up, pulls back, shoots up, and then kind of chopped. This was a little bit of a bullish pattern, choppy, sloppy, and then it failed. Came right back in the double bottom over here, never filled the gap, right back up into the 50 MA, pulled back. So let's see if that was the, pullback, one up, pullback, and then let's see if this thing takes off again. I'm still thinking 26.53 area, and then double top up in here. You got a gap fill as well. So just, if you're bullish the dollar, hang on tight, see if you could get above this 50 MA, and then you could probably go higher. Weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing, holding on to the 20 MA. Weekly is a little bit more on a bearish pattern. I mean, we're still above the MAs, everything's fine, but this down slight pattern here, that's setting up for possibly lower prices. But what I think, we get a nice retrace first, maybe back into here, and then possibly the leg down. As long as we're above the moving averages, it should have no problem staying buoyant. Again, I think a lot of central bankers are in here, and they're doing their thing. Oil, like I said, oil's all over the place. Gold's pretty much been intact though. Dollar up, gold down. Gold was down a little bit today. We'll look at that next, but that was expected with the dollar up. The GLD. GLD, same thing, now consolidating on the weekly chart. Let's get another couple weeks of this, and then boom. If this thing consolidates on the weekly like this in a bullish pattern, I think we could go to 132, 130, this double top right here, 131 to 132. We'll keep an eye on this. First step is around 125. If we get there, we still have a lot of resistance here around 120. If you did get lucky enough to get this thing down at 107, 108, take a little bit off here. If you want to really, or at least tighten the stop up in the maybe 114, 113 area. So if it starts getting down there, you want to sell some and it gets below the 20 MA. If this thing starts popping above the 50 and the 200, you're easily going probably to 121, and this trend line here at 123.50, and then up in here as well around 125. So be aware of that. All right, guys. Yeah, right now, if you stuck around for this video, and remember, go to my website, sign up. I'm trying to get all that stuff together. I've been slammed. If you follow my videos and my online living streams, I own a printing company. I've been doing, oh my gosh, it's been out of control, which is, I've been blessed, guys. It's been going. So I'm in these swing trades. I'm just letting them play out. I do a couple things intraday, scalping, stuff like that. I have multiple accounts, guys, some for scalping, some for swing trading stuff as well. I like to keep them separate. Sometimes they get together. Sometimes I'm holding trades a little longer because markets like this, every day at noon, you could probably buy the dip and it goes up. I mean, that's pretty much what it's been doing if you can find that low. And then you just do, you play it that way, and every day you buy the dip and let it go up. But no, that will not go on forever. It seems like it will, but one day it's going to be a lot different. So just be aware of that. Again, though, just follow the charts, try to figure out which way these things are going, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, thanks again. I really appreciate you coming over, watching my video, subscribing, signing up for my website, all that good stuff. If you want intraday stock twits, that's the place to be for that. But when I do live streams, then we're calling out trades and looking at stuff and figuring out swings and stuff like that. So, all right, guys, again, thank you for coming by. Have a great 3-day weekend if you're off on Monday, and God bless. See you on the charts.